I just got back of the barber and it itches, as if a parasite is growing out of my face. Anyway, who is the strongest old man in Soulsborne history, including Sekiro and Elden Ring? I've been wondering about this question ever since I played those games, because they always have an overpowered old man at the end. Also because I've been watching a lot of Dragon Ball power scaling videos. I haven't even watched Dragon Ball Super yet, but I still enjoy watching these. So I thought to myself, why don't I make one of these videos for Soulsborne and Old Men? The final result will be judged based on their boss fight version, but we'll be looking at other sources like item descriptions, cutscene, etc. The criteria is simple. Our contestants must be old, and they must be very significant for the story, and they must be an endgame boss, or the final boss. That's it. So sadly, no Marto Lugarius, because he's not an endgame and he's not that significant, and no Old King Doran, and no Father Owl, even though I wanted to put him in. So, without further ado, let's start introducing our champions. From Demon Souls, we have True King Allant. Yeah, True King Allant, not the fake old one. From Dark Souls, we have Gwyn, the Lord of Cinder and Sunlight. From Dark Souls 2, we have King Vendrick. Yeah, I know that Aldia is the oldest, but come on! Just look at him, he's a fucking tree. From Dark Souls 3, we have Slave Knight Gale, because he's the final boss in the series. From Bloodborne, we have Gehrman, the first hunter, because he's the oldest one, and because he's the final boss. And from Elden Ring, we have Godfrey, the first Elden Lord. Oh, and Ishin Ashina. Not the Sword Saint version, but the old man version. Because the Sword Saint doesn't look that old. Usually with this type of videos, you'd start with talking about the feats of your contestants. However, most of our champions for today are generals, so their feats are usually done with an army behind them. Godfrey didn't conquer the lands between on his own, and Vendrick didn't defeat the giants alone, but they still have feats of their own, at least most of them. So let's begin with Old King Allant. His individual feats are basically nothing. He unleashed the demons upon Boletaria, and that's it. Maybe he was a great ruler and conqueror because he conquered all the lands around Boletaria and his kingdom flourished, but we are looking for his battle prowess on his own as a warrior. Also, I don't think that the fake demon version of him represents his battle prowess because it's a demon. Then we look at the feats of Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight. Once again, he was a great conqueror and ruler, but he was also extremely powerful. His soul was strong enough to kindle the first flame for probably thousands of years. And when you beat the Soul of Cinder, it resorts to using the Soul of Gwyn at the end, which is a testament to how powerful he is, because some people consider the Soul of Cinder to be the ultimate life form in the world of Dark Souls. Also in the Age of Fire comic, which is somewhat canon, we see a panel or a page where Gwyn just one-shots a lot of dragons. So yeah, he's extremely powerful. After that, we'll take a look at the feats of King Vendrick. This man is the ultimate simp. He defeated the giants because his wife told him so. As for his individual feats, we know that he can create and animate golems, and he was very close to finding a solution for the undead curse. As for his battle prowess, he was probably very strong. There is no concrete evidence of that. Up next is Slave Knight Gale. Unlike the others, he wasn't a great conqueror or ruler, but he managed to survive from the beginning of time until the end, which no lord could say they've ever done. So what else is there to be said? This man is a legend. Also, he helps us defeat Sister Frida and the Demon Prince, so we can say he defeated them just like we did. Also, he collected the Dark Soul through the blood of the Dark Souls. So yeah, this guy is an absolute beast. Then comes Gehrman, the first hunter. Just like Gale, Gehrman isn't a general or ruler or anything, but as his title implies, he was the first hunter, which means that he was the one who laid the foundations and fundamentals of hunting beasts. So, all hunters can trace back their weapon styles, their armor, their skills, everything can be traced back to Gehrman. Also, he's just a sweetheart, and he was, for some reason, chosen by the Moon Presence to be imprisoned or be a keeper of the hunter's dream. And in the best and greatest act of kindness, even though he suffers from being in the dream, he still puts you as the priority and frees you instead of freeing himself. After Gehrman comes Isshin Ashina, and oh boy, where it starts with this one. He was granted the honorific title of Sword Saint, which basically means someone who perfected the sword. He also defeated Gyobo the demon and his band of thieves. He also defeated the demon of hatred for the first time, which probably gave him his that mean scar at his belly or abdomen, whatever. He also defeated General Tamura. We don't know how strong Tamura is, but Isshin regards him as a very strong opponent, because he kept his spear and he gave it to Gyobo later on. Also, after he comes from the dead, he uses Tamura's spear. I know that I said we will look at the gameplay or boss version or the oldest version of Isshin. However, whatever applies to the younger version also applies to the old one. And finally, Godfrey, or Horalu. This guy is basically that one friend who is so over-leveled and overpowered that he carries you through the whole game. Because that's what Godfrey did to the Golden Order and America. She basically married him and he carried her through the whole war against the giants, etc. As for his individual feats, he defeated the Storm Lord, which we don't really know how strong he is, but he was probably very strong. Also, this guy was so battle-lusted that he had to graft a beast on his back to halt his lust for battle and blood. And he was the chieftain of the Badlands. We don't really know or see what the Badlands look like, but looking at how injured Godfrey was at that picture of the intro cutscene, we can tell that the Badlands are pretty bad. Now let's take a look at the gameplay side. We'll skip Alant because, yeah, he's not the brightest or the strongest. Gwyn, and he swings a big sword with fire on it. And that's pretty much it. He doesn't shoot lightning or anything. Maybe if you count the second phase of Soul of Cinder, then he shoots lightning, but we won't count it because it's Soul of Cinder, not Gwyn. Next comes King Vendrick, and just like Gwyn, this guy only swings a big sword, but without the flame. However, he deals much more damage and probably has the highest defense of them all. But then there is the curious case of him not really being interested in battle at all. He will just walk around and will not attack anyone as long as they don't attack him. Next comes Gale. And Gale is interesting because he has a lot of tools. His attacks are the least expected. He's abrupt and random and more feral than the others. But he swings a broken sword, which I don't think will last very much against the others. Anyway, his attacks are he can unleash curses that can summon lightning. He has a crossbow, a repeating crossbow at that, and he can summon himself, which can work as a teleportation method. After Gale is Gelman, and if Gale has a lot of tools, then Gelman has much more. He has a sword, a scythe, a blunderbuss, which is basically a shotgun, a sort of shotgun or whatever. He's probably the fastest. He is extremely strong. He can swing the air and just slice it. He can use the power of the moon presence to enhance his abilities. He's way too experienced at killing. His weapons are specifically designed to be lethal and kill as fast as possible. Yeah, the others has killing weapons, but Gilman has a much lethal weapon. He also has the ability to parry attacks, and probably much more that I can't remember. Then comes Ishin. If Gelman had the most tools and the most lethal weapons, then Ishin is probably the most skilled with his. Even in his old age, he's still a force to be feared. He can slice the air and create sword slashes with his one-mind attack. He is an expert with martial arts, and he can use other people's powers and the environment to his own advantage. Yeah, in his fight against Sekiro, the fire isn't really Ishin's fire. It's Sekiro because he's turning into an Ashura or Ashura or whatever it's called. So maybe he can, I don't know, deflect the opponent's weapons and attacks against them, or something like that. And finally comes Godfrey, or Horalu, whatever you want to call him. If Vendrick has the most defense, then Godfrey probably has the highest attack power. This man can shake the earth with his fists, or by stomping on the ground very hard. He also have those nasty grab attacks. So if someone gets grabbed by him, then it's game over for them. He has his axe swings, which I don't think he'll hit anyone with these. So yeah, he is the ultimate power. Okay, it's time to decide who's the winner in this hypothetical fight. And the winner is True King Alant. Now don't click off the video yet. You might think I'm crazy, but here's what's going to happen. Everyone else will get inside the arena, except Vendrick, who's probably going to get stuck, and True King Alant, who's very slow to get in. So, Godfrey, Gwyn, Gehrman, Gale, and Ishin will just kill one another. And when King Alant comes into the arena, he's going to win by virtue of being the only survivor. And that's pretty much it. Okay, but seriously, the one who I think is going to win is of course Gehrman, the first hunter. And I'm saying that not because he's my favorite, which he is, but because no matter if you are the Lord of Sunlight or the Lord of the Battlefield, a shotgun blast to the face is a shotgun blast to the face, and it's probably going to kill anyone who gets hit by it. Also, he's the fastest, and I don't think that Ishin will deflect all of these pellets. And did I mention that he's the fastest, and he also has the support of the moon presence. So yeah, Gehrman is the winner. Post-edit note. Obviously the gun isn't the deciding factor. That was just a joke. Even though it wasn't a joke, because I think the gun is very powerful. Anyway, I think he'll win because whatever the others have, he has it as well. He has the strength, the attacks, the skill, and he's the fastest. And he's supported by the moon presence. So yeah. And also, anyway, that was my personal conclusion, and you can feel free to disagree with it and tell me who you think would win and why do you think they will win. And in all honesty, I don't think anyone will win against the other, because if you look at it in terms of lore and legend, Gwyn will probably be the strongest. And Vendrick, like we said, has the highest defense. And Gale has the strongest will, so you may knock him down and he will come back again. And Gehrman is the fastest. And Ishin is the most skilled with his weapons and the most skilled in general. And Godfrey is probably the strongest in terms of sheer and raw power. So yeah, once again, feel free to tell me who you think would win and why they win. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and once again, this video was just made for fun and enjoyment. So yeah, once again, thanks for watching. Watch my other videos. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and all of the other shit that YouTubers tell you to do. And see you guys later.